And a very good day to you and welcome to the program. I want to speak to you today about prayer. That's right. The effective, fervent prayer of a righteous man or woman availeth much, the Bible says. James chapter 5 and verse 16. Not just prayer, not just mumbling. You know, you can teach a parrot to pray, and I'm not being disrespectful. It's got to be from the heart, not from the head. The effective, fervent prayer of a righteous man. You know, they say that there was a man by the name of Fletcher. I think his name was Fletcher. He was one of John Wesley's right-hand men. He was a prayer warrior. If you go up to his house, close to his bed, there was floorboards there, and apparently they are dents in the wood. That's right, from where his knees were, the time that he used to spend in fervent prayer. That's why one of the greatest revivals the world's ever seen came through those men. I want to say to you today that we need to pray. If we go to Isaiah chapter 56, one verse, and that is verse, let me have a look at it right here, verse 7. My house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations. And then the same word Jesus spoke in Mark chapter 11, verse 17. In fact, he chased out the money changers. It's the only time that I see in the New Testament that Jesus really got angry. In fact, so much so, he sat down and he made a whip. And he went into the temple and he chased out the money changers. He chased them out. Why? He said, because my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations. The Lord spent more time praying than he did preaching. In fact, you don't hear too many sermons in the New Testament preached by Jesus, apart from the Sermon on the Mount. But prayer, always praying without ceasing, praying for the sick, praying for the oppressed, spending time up the mountain, praying to his Father. Jesus was a prayer warrior. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but right now, at this very moment, as you're watching this program, Jesus is an intercessor. He's an intercessor. He is praying for you and me. He's standing in the gap for you and I. That is what he's. That's why I've got the highest respect and regard for intercessors. When I go to a meeting, the first thing I ask is, where are the intercessors? I want to greet them. I want to acknowledge them. I want to thank them for what they're doing. No prayer, then I don't preach, because it's a waste of time. It's like trying to preach to the back of the stable here. There's nothing going to happen. It's got to be prayer. When people invite me overseas on campaigns, I ask the first question. I don't ask, what's your budget? I don't ask, what's the band like? Who the singers? I don't ask what the stadium looks like. I ask, what are the prayer warriors doing? And they say they have been interceding for months. I say, I'm coming. If they say, no, well, we haven't got to that point yet, we'll organize that later, I say, call somebody else. I'm not interested. You know, I looked up the Oxford Dictionary to find out the literal meaning of the word prayer. What is it? It says a solemn request for help or expression of thanks addressed to God. That's what prayer is. It's the greatest weapon in the Christian's arsenal, prayer. And it's a funny thing, I can work out, not that I should judge anybody, who am I to judge any man? I want to hear a man praying first. And I would often ask him, man, will you pray for me, please? And by him praying, I know exactly what his stand is with the Lord. And that's not being critical. I can hear it in his voice, whether it's plastic or whether it's the real thing. I want to say to you today, start praying, and you'll see that all those problems you're struggling with will come to nothing. God bless you, and keep praying. Goodbye.